Okay, so after much deliberation and procrastination, I have taken the opportunity to build a YouTube channel focused around the rebuild and repair of my 1971 Honda S2000 powered Reliant Scimitar. Now, for the purists, that's quite an odd combination of engine and car, considering that the car itself was actually originally paired with a Ford Essex 3-litre V6. But I just so happened to have a crash damaged Honda S2000 in the garage and a Reliant Scimitar that needed restoration, and the engine had let go. And yeah, the rest is history. So the car itself was actually on the road for about a year. It's taken around 5 years in total to put it all together, and it is really special. It always draws attention. It's won a number of awards at shows and gets people asking a lot of questions about it. So it is a 1971 Reliant Scimitar, as I said previously, but it weighs around 925 kilograms when I had it on the lift, and the engine itself was putting out around 220 brake horsepower from standard. It's completely standard in the engine bay, other than the fact that it's in the wrong car. The reason that it came off the road around 3 years ago now was for the axle. Now, I went on a road trip over to Wales and the gearing ratio was completely wrong. I just couldn't get any speed down, and it was loud as well. At the same time, while the axle was out, I decided that I was going to also try and sort some of the electrical gremlins that were in the car, and I pulled the dashboard. Because I wanted to get the car on the road, I rushed and I put an ECU in. Then I realised I couldn't fit the ITBs that I wanted to, so I had to then use the drive-by-wire system on the car, which meant that I had to have another loom patched into the original loom that I built. And it was just a spider's web of wiring all patched into different systems, and I kept losing communication with the ECU and stalling out at junctions. But because of the last 3 years I've been busy with work, busy with life and house and moving, I just have not had the chance to put my head properly into it until now. Currently, the situation is I'm nearly there, really. I mean, the axle has been fully rebuilt. I'm just waiting on a number of little bits and pieces to complete it. So I'm missing a woodruff key. I need a new set of brake pads in there, and to reroute the brake lines to get them so they don't chafe or rub. The axle I've upgraded. It's gone from being a 3.1 to 1 ratio crown wheel pinion gear to now a 4.09 to 1 crown wheel pinion with a power lock diff in there. I'm hoping that's going to make all the difference. It's quite a sizable jump, but it's much more similar to the original S2000 ratio on the car. And bearing in mind that the car itself has the original 6-speed gearbox from the S2000 in there, without any drivetrain, without any tunnel modifications or chassis modifications, I might say, but this should be much more suiting. I'm hoping to get this dropped into the car on Friday once the new woodruff key and some slotted nuts arrive, and then hopefully the car will be in a position where I can start rolling it around properly into the garage and get this nicely rewired dashboard back in. Part of the issue that I was having with the wiring is I wanted to keep the original dashboard desperately. So anybody who's worked on these cars knows that the plastic on these dashes is extremely brittle, and trying to find a good one is a nightmare. So I took the opportunity to find a good one. Second. And I had to make sure I found all of the right size gauges for the holes. I went for video because video, nice quality. And I really wanted to incorporate the push start switch from the S2000 out there as well, which again just slotted in there perfectly. I went for a GPS speedometer, so that is now wired into the vehicle so I can get accurate readings all the time. And I'm going to have a bit of a challenge on my hands over the next few weeks, because originally when I built the car, the sensors that were in there were doubled up essentially. So the temperature gauge had a separate video sender in the cooling system, as well as the one that was on the engine originally that went to the ECU. The same for the oil pressure and oil temperature. So all these extra wires running all over the place was really messy. Now what I've started as a project which is nearly finished to be fair, is the ECU that I'm running is a DTA S60 Pro, and it has CAN low and high outputs from it. And what I've done is I have a Arduino processor with a CAN low and CAN high input on there, and I'm going to take the original engine outputs from the sensors that are built into the wiring loom and convert that to a voltage, and essentially display on the original gauges on the dash as well. So, you know, fingers crossed for me that that works, because now I've rebuilt the loom in the car, I don't want to have to modify it again. But when it's light on the next iteration of this video, I'll show you around the engine bay, show you some of the modifications I've done, and also when I'm fitting the axle Friday, I'll show you some of the suspension modifications that I've made to make the vehicle a little bit wider on the rear and a little bit more suited and stable on the road. All right, thank you for checking in. Cheers.